What is up, guys? It's your boy HeyLilJoey or Lil Joey, and I just saw an insane movie and we have to talk about it, so let's get right into it. So the movie I recently just saw was Magazine Dreams. It is a movie starring Jonathan Majors as he plays a bodybuilder who is trying to become a pro, trying to become Mr. Olympia. Or so I thought. Truthfully, Magazine Dreams is a movie that was painted as a bodybuilding character study but kind of loses itself halfway through. And don't get me wrong, I love the movie and that's one of the reasons I'm talking about it, but the second reason is I'm really into this kind of fitness space and I thought this is a cool fitness-based movie about bodybuilding that I'd love to watch, and it kind of lost me. So what is it about? Well, Jonathan Majors plays a character named Killian Maddox, who is a young man, I think he's around 23, 24, who lives with his grandfather because his parents died when he was young. His grandfather is sick, so Killian takes care of him while also working at a grocery store and pursuing his big dream of being a pro bodybuilder. The character of Killian Maddox is pretty intriguing, especially with Jonathan Majors being the actor he is, giving life to this role. But the problem is it's not exactly clear-cut. And some people say that defeats the purpose of a character study, but personally I think they left a lot of questions unanswered. Killian as a character is just a very awkward person, and you can never really tell if it's because of a mental disorder or it's because of the steroids, or maybe it's a mix of both. Throughout the movie we kind of see Killian struggle to socially navigate through life, and it's kind of hard to watch. And to be completely honest, Jonathan Majors did so well in this role that I had to look away from the screen sometimes. Secondhand embarrassment, it was insane. But again, like I said, I want to know if it's the steroids that's warping his mind, if it's a mental disorder, or it's both. Because this could very easily be Killian being someone who just shouldn't be on steroids in the first place, being influenced by the world of bodybuilding, the crazy big physiques, everything. And his mind thinks he can just do that. There is a scene where we see a doctor talking to Killian about how he's got 2 tumors on his kidney. Killian won't let him operate on them because he doesn't want scars because he's a bodybuilder. He says bodybuilders can't have scars. The character of Killian is so driven to be the best bodybuilder ever that he doesn't even care about his own health. Again, steroids warp your mind. And one thing I would have loved to see in this movie is a kind of deep dive into the aggression. Throughout the movie, Killian definitely displays a lot of high-rated aggression, and I would have loved to thought that that is from the steroids. I would love to see kind of more details on why he's so aggressive, or the process of him ramping up his aggression from like a small start to like a big crescendo maybe. I just think there's so many opportunities to kind of harp on the debilitating and scary world of steroids, and they just didn't do it. I will say I do have a lot of critiques about this movie, but I did love it, and I do want to talk about the great things I loved about it. Like I said, the multiple scenes where Killian shows awkwardness and kind of social awkwardness, you can tell. You can see it. You can feel it. You feel the secondhand embarrassment when he's talking to someone and they feel awkward. It's so real, and Jonathan Majors absolutely kills it throughout this entire role. Again, he rose to the occasion and really did a great job in this movie, so applaud to him. I know everybody has their opinions about, you know, all the allegations or all the court cases or whatever. I honestly don't know the details. I just wanted to watch this because I remember seeing the trailer. I was so excited for it, and then I didn't know what happened to it. If you didn't know, this movie was shot, I think, in 2023 and was supposed to release in 2024, but it got delayed because of all the Jonathan Majors controversy and scandals, so it got released by a smaller production company around 2025, earlier this year. But again, things I liked. The cinematography was also great. I loved all the shots. The shots and the angles, they were picked just very, very well. Even the lighting for different scenes, like when he's in the clubs or when he's, you know, on the stages. It's all very well done. Even when he meets his idol, there's kind of like a shimmering light behind him when he's doing a photo shoot, and it kind of like gives the illusion of like, you know, this is Killian's idol, and he's just insanely, like, he can't believe that he's even seeing him in person. But speaking of, let's talk about Killian's idol, Brad Vanderhorn. In the movie, Brad Vanderhorn is played by Mike O'Hearn, the bodybuilder, and he actually does a really good job in the scenes, the little scenes he did have. There's a lot of scenes where he's just posing and he's not doing a lot of talking. He kind of acted like that big kind of like star that you feel is almost untouchable. He also definitely gave off the villain vibe of, oh, I'm going to try and take advantage of you. Now, spoiler alert ahead, and also sensitive content warning, because this is where it kind of gets a little iffy. I would definitely go suggest watching it and then coming back to the video. But anyway, after Brad Vanderhoorn calls Killian after multiple letters that Killian has sent, Killian goes to one of his photo shoots. They meet and they talk, and the emotion that it struck on my face and it like in me, it was awesome. When I saw Killian's face, seeing Brad for the first time, you could tell it literally made me smile, because I was like, he's finally meeting his idol. Things have been going bad for him recently, but this is all worth it. It's all worth to kind of meet your idol and have that, you know, that motivation back to be the best bodybuilder. And then that feelings just quickly turned sour, ever so fucking quickly. We see Killian just shirtless, like in a trailer, and he's kind of just sitting there. And then we hear a phone ring. Brad Vanderhoorn sits up and he answers the phone and walks away. And he's butt-ass naked. So it is very heavily implied that Brad pretty much coerced Killian into sex from being his biggest fan. So he pretty much raped him. And it was a very dark moment. I don't really know how I feel about them going that direction, because it quickly turned from a bodybuilding kind of movie and a character study to a just straight descent into madness character study, a very Taxi Driver-esque, Joker-esque kind of movie. And I hate to compare it to that, because they're very, very different, and I feel like Taxi Driver and Joker are so similar, and they're also like the #1 character studies that people go towards when they want to compare a character study. It's very different, but the whole descent into madness at the end of the movie, that's what kind of killed it for me. So at the end of the movie, pretty much Killian loses it. He wants to kill Brad Vanderhoorn. He wants to become part of history. He wants to be the man who killed Brad Vanderhoorn. So, what does Killian do? He gets an assault rifle and goes to one of Brad Vanderhoorn's shows, sneaks backstage, and almost kills him. Almost. Of course, he doesn't end up killing Brad Vanderhoorn, and he goes home to see his grandpa, and he just ends up crying in his grandpa's arms. He just cannot hold it together anymore, and it all just comes out. At the end of the movie, we have Killian writing his final letter to Brad, pretty much saying goodbye, pretty much saying you reap what you sow, that he's going to make a name for himself. Throughout this voiceover, we also get to see Killian throwing away the steroids. He's taking a picture of himself and taking down posters in his room to put up posters of himself. We just see him working hard, and you can definitely see it's almost as if we get a turning of a leaf for Killian. We get to see a whole new Killian, an almost completely changed Killian, or what we hope to be a completely changed Killian. I had high expectations for this movie, and I think that also was my downfall of it. That was definitely on me. Not that I hated the movie. I still love the movie. Like I said, I wish it was more bodybuilding surrounded. There's so many health issues surrounding bodybuilding. There's so many stigmas. There's so many just awful temptations around it with steroids, awful body images, just different kinds of stuff with bodybuilding. There's so many different things that I feel like they could have dived in and really studied in this movie, and it just unfortunately didn't do that. If I had to give this movie a rating, I would give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I was looking for a lot more, but Jonathan Majors and the director, everybody involved in this really did a great job. It was just I needed more from the bodybuilding aspect. Have you guys seen Magazine Dreams? Let me know down below what your thoughts are on the movie. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely suggest it if you're into bodybuilding or you like kind of those kind of sports movies. It was definitely a good watch, and definitely something I would suggest to at least watch once. If you guys haven't already, definitely go drop a like or subscribe to the channel if you like the video. I have lots of new fitness videos coming. I do have a boxing match coming up against Augustin C. If you guys want to try any of the HTLT supplements like GO2 Max, definitely go to htltsupplements.com and use code LilJoey for 15% off your order, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.